Hello again, everybody from Belfast. Here I am to share some more with you about Children of the Nations ministry in Sierra Leone. I can't remember the last time I actually spoke at an all-staff gathering like this, and a lot has changed for my wife and I. We bought a house in January and had a baby boy in February. His name is Angus, and he is doing very well. Joanna is taking motherhood in her stride, and while I am, as you can see in the next slide, trying to give off that impression, on the inside I am mostly experiencing panic. It's very tiring, but it's a lot of fun. We're all healthy and well, and we praise God for that. The next big event here will be on the 1st of April when the COTN UK and Ireland offices will be welcoming our new Malawi liaison and grant compliance officer. But that is probably for the next presentation. So let's go now to Sierra Leone, where lots has also been happening. New staff members have joined us, new opportunities and partnerships have presented themselves, and there is much to thank God for. As you can see in the pictures there, January and February were very busy times as the staff in Sierra Leone hosted the Clarks and Paul and 5 members of the Aust family who are becoming key supporters of Children of the Nations. Some of the highlights of that trip were lots of fun times with the children, an opportunity to meet with the US ambassador to Sierra Leone, an opportunity for our students to showcase their cultural dance skills, time with staff and children in Mopangoba, and a staff training event with a focus on partnership. As I worked on this presentation, it became quickly clear that partnership is a thread that runs right the way through what I'm sharing today. The Austs have funded a sports court in Banta, which is currently under construction, so watch out for some pictures of that on This Week soon. This is an exciting addition to the facilities on our site and will help achieve a goal that our acting country director, Mr. Samuel Gunay, is currently working towards, and that is that our ministry site will be a constant hive of child-friendly activity. Yesterday on the phone, he was saying, you know, Mark, this site should never be quiet. There should always be children and activities going on here. So as we think about developments in our facilities, another place where we're seeing and have seen developments is in our children's home. So as you know, in 2017, we had renovated one of the 10 houses in the home, and in 2018, another was completed. And this means a safer environment for the children, one with better access, healthier kitchen facilities, improved pest control, a tile floor that is easier to keep clean, fixed windows and toilets and electrics, a whole overhaul of those houses. That looks really great, as you can see in the picture there, and the children are always excited if they get to be chosen to be the next group to move in. The continuation of this renovation work is an approved project coming to a SKU near you very soon. Each house renovation costs about $9,000. A smaller project that we're also hoping to get some funds for this year, and which is also an open project right now, is to upgrade the septic system on the girls' side of our children's home. The current system just can't accommodate the number of girls living there. The giving page on our website says that the system often needs to be pumped empty, but access to a pump to clear out a septic system is not easy in Sierra Leone. So what actually means most of the time is some brave men have shoveled out that system. So you'll be thankful I have not included those pictures in the presentation. We have also dug several overflow pits, but none of those things are permanent solutions. And so installing an improved system, much more like what we've got for our new guest houses and new staff houses, it would cost $2,600, and it would create a much healthier, sanitary and fit for purpose system for the children's home. As you know, we have also recently partnered with Kids Around the World to ship a playground to the home, which was erected by our local construction team. You can see a picture of it there, and it's bringing lots of joy to the children. This past year also saw us improve access to clean water in our children's home through the provision of a second water well, easing the burden on the original pump and shortening lines in the morning. So when Becky, who is pumping water there in the picture, needs to get some water before school, she can do so much more easily than before. We continue to develop our relationship with Living Water International, who installed a well for us for free in Marjorie Town last year, and they have agreed to install another community well in Guala for us this year, and perhaps in other villages as well. They want to work with us on a way to use that initiative as a way to communicate and dialogue with the community about issues surrounding clean water and sanitation, but also as a way of pointing them to the truth of the gospel and Christ as the source of the water of life. So trying to use it as an opportunity for evangelism in Guala and maybe also other communities as well. If you go to the next slide then, as you've all seen these pictures before, I think the main structures of our second phase of senior secondary school campus have been completed and are being put to good use. That's included the landscaping of this beautiful courtyard, which has become the place to get your photograph taken in our chiefdom. Facebook profile pictures everywhere feature our school in the background. Our international IT specialist, James White, is there right now with his wonderful wife, Rebecca, setting up the school's first computer lab and starting the first computer lessons, which is another huge step forward for our students and our education programming. Whenever I was first in Sierra Leone in 2008, our children had never even heard of the internet, and now smartphones are in every village. In the picture there, you can see some of our students who have sat their leaving exams and graduated recently. Ali, Lamine and Philip jumping for joy, and Betty smiling broadly, all children from our home who hope to continue on to university. Students like these are relying on us to prepare them well for that next step in their lives, to prepare them to be launched out into the worlds of academia and work. And by continuing to improve the facilities in our schools, we're giving our young people a much better chance to avail of the opportunities that will come to them. The full completion of the second phase of our senior secondary school project is our highest project priority at the moment for those reasons. And together with the third phase of that project, this would represent a very large step forward for the building out of our whole Banta ministry site. And as you can see in the next slide, work and discussions continue on the master plan for our site. And we are really excited about how God is directing this whole process as we plan for 5, 10, 15, 20 years out into the future of ministry in this community. We were really encouraged recently by the exam results from our junior secondary school students. Of the 96 who sat their national, the basic education certificate examinations that you sit at the end of junior high, 100% passed with grades which allow them in the senior secondary school. So that's a really big improvement on the last number of years, and it's a credit to the students, and as well as that to the international teaching staff of the school, which for the last 2.5 years has included Sierra Leonean teachers, Malawian teachers, and an American in James White. This is international partnership, and it has we're reaping the benefits of that. We currently have 2 Malawian graduates of ABC University, Samuel and Adwell, teaching in Banta as a continuation of that Go Teach initiative. And we hope for even greater success with the next group of students to sit these national exams. The girl laughing in the picture is Hassanatu, a young woman from our children's home who came top of the class in these exams. Sierra Leone is a country where it's not common for girls and boys to be an equal number in the school system. In Children of the Nations, we do have a good 50-50 mix. And in the past, we've seen more girls drop out at this stage as they're moving into the senior and higher secondary school levels. But we're working hard to change that dynamic. And Hassanatu is another growing line of girls in our education programs who have shown that girls can perform at school just as well as boys, or in her case, beat them all into the ground. So we're very proud of her and the girls in those classes. In February, the president of Sierra Leone declared rape and sexual violence as a national emergency in the country. And he said, as a nation, we must address this scourge. Over the last couple of years in particular, our senior management has been working on responding to this scourge in our communities, trying to protect the children in our programs from abuse and advocate for those who have suffered in these ways. And Caitlin was talking about this in her presentation. At the end of 2018, a second case in which we have supported a local family pursue legal action against a man who abused their daughter resulted in a conviction. As families and members of our community have seen the stance that COTN has been taking in these areas, they have become more likely to come forward with stories of their own. And while it is heartbreaking to be confronted by how regularly incidents of abuse take place in what is a relatively small rural community, and also, you know, how regularly those incidents are still suppressed and kept quiet, the actions taken by senior management are helping to put down a marker of what we believe to be unacceptable. There is, of course, a long way to go. And the leniency of sentencing that we have seen, which is mirrored in cases across the country, which is why the president has called it a national emergency, shows that the judicial system itself is failing to adequately deal with these cases. But as Caitlin said, these are the first steps. And in 2019, we hope to continue to train our staff and our children and our community about how to live out biblical values of justice and righteousness, of love and purity. That's all wrapped up in the verse that we quote so often here at Children of the Nations, James 1:27, keeping oneself unstained by the world and caring for orphans and widows in their distress. At the same time, as we try to seek justice when injustice is done, we also want to ensure that our children are protected and they know how to protect themselves, both from abuse, but also from poor choices in their adolescence. In a partnership with an organization called Purposeful Production, our Village Partnership Program staff are piloting a girls' empowerment initiative with a focus on mentoring and life skills training. The aim is to empower the girls, help them make their voices heard, and help them make informed decisions about their well-being through life skills education. The life skills material that we have been able to access as part of this is an incredibly in-depth 10-module course covering all kinds of topics from personal budgeting and critical thinking to gender-based violence and teen pregnancy, and is created specifically for use in Sierra Leone in partnership with the government of Sierra Leone. The pilot's going to include 40 adolescent girls from our programs, and it's going to run throughout this year. It's pilot, we've not done it before, we'll be learning as we go, but we're excited to go through this material and support these girls as best we can as we learn how to do it better and better. So another area of our holistic care programming where we are seeing the benefits of partnership has been in physical care. As we know, as you all know, I'm sure, we benefit from the secondment of a government nurse in our clinic and free drugs from the government for pregnant women and children under 5. Very practically, at the end of 2018, that meant we were able to be a part of immunizing 170 nursery school children at our clinic. And our nursery students is a group that our physical care staff would like to focus on, especially in the area of nutrition. You'll see on our website an opportunity to boost the protein intake of these children, something that is vital to their growth and development at that age, and something that can be achieved by serving them an egg as a breakfast snack at the beginning of every day. Something which we can do for a whole year if we can find a partner or partners willing to invest $2,000 in that initiative. Recently, you can see the pictures there. We were able to partner with a group called Enable the Children, part of the World Hope International Ministry that we've partnered with so successfully over the last couple of years. Enable the Children specialize in training parents of children with special needs in basic physiotherapy exercises and some occupational therapy advice. Enable the Children, they came and completed a workshop in Guyana with 10 children and their caregivers. The kids had a variety of different needs. And they were also able to do an assessment and provide some advice and resources to help us take care of two of the children in our home with specifically complex needs. They're going to be back in Banta with us again next month, and we're excited to see that partnership continue. And also at the start of this year in physical care, we were able to refer two children, as you'll see them pictured in the next slide, Abdullah and Martha, to Troithrum Hospital in Freetown, where a ministry called Lion for Lion were conducting minor surgeries free of charge. And both surgeries were completed successfully with a great impact on the well-being of both of these children. The university program at Children of the Nations continues to expand in very exciting ways, both in terms of the number of students involved and the opportunities that we have been able to offer. There are currently 40 students in our university program, with about 5 finishing their studies this coming year and about 21 currently in the process of applying for acceptance. Two of the most exciting developments in the sort of the last year were the acceptance, as you know, of 4 of our students, Aminata, Masa, Capri, and Spenji, to ABC University in Liberia. This gives them the opportunity of combining a quality education with sound spiritual encouragement and an international experience. I saw a picture yesterday of Spenji standing beside a helicopter, which was pretty cool, and it's the kind of thing that we hope new experiences that they wouldn't be able to achieve anywhere else is what we're hoping for them at ABC University. Amadou Jallo, another young man you've been hearing a lot about from our home, as you know, was offered the scholarship to study at Valencia College in Orlando, and he traveled there just after New Year. He was involved in an event recently just there when Fraser was down in Florida, which was really great to see. And I know you've heard a lot about Amadou, but I wanted to share something that he wrote to us in an email to say thank you. I wanted to share what he had to say. He said, "I want to start by saying thanks to God for this goodness in my life and for taking me through everything I have been through and for giving me all the opportunities that I have, and more especially for Children of the Nations. I also want to profusely thank you for every little time you have put into this process to ensure that I get quality education and a better life. Thank you for your long, hard hours, for having to start over again several times, for believing in me even when I didn't, for your individual, moral, financial, and spiritual support, for answering my calls and replying to my emails at odd hours, and for being there for me. I am blessed to have you, and God bless you." He then went on to ask advice about flying, saying, "I don't want to land in Iraq or Bangladesh. I am kind of nervous, but I am looking forward to the adventure." So thank you to each one of you for all the support that you have offered and for helping kids like Amadou on this adventure that God has them on. The big prayer request as we think about the adventures to come that I want to leave with you today is for you to pray for our national leadership. Tomorrow, our national board will be interviewing 2 candidates that they have shortlisted for the position of country director. Please pray for wisdom and the right choice. Please pray that God would be preparing the heart and the mind of this future leader of Children of the Nations in Sierra Leone so that they might lead us with integrity and skill and passion and wisdom. Pray for a leader who will know how to partner, how to foster partnerships, and how to get the best out of partnerships for the benefit of all of these children that we love so much. Thank you very much for your time today.